I'm saying, I think from now on, Run Button podcasts, 90 minutes is like the absolute max.
Yeah?
I think last time it was an hour, and I think that was more than enough.
Mm-hmm.
I was like,
no, that was more than an hour, right?
No.
Huh. Well, it was different because we used to put out like fucking 4-hour podcasts, but now we put out 5 hours of content, like in the time that it takes us to put out.
I mean, the 3-hour podcasts, that was always a Run Button thing. That was never a Complex Rockets thing.
Those were still lengthy, though.
No, they were like 90 minutes.
I don't know.
Yeah, they were.
Huh. How did we keep it so brief?
You know what I think it was?
Yeah.
It was just like, that was all we knew, was like recording for 90 minutes and then stopping. And then once we started doing Run Button, we started doing these crazy things where we would record for 8 hours. So like we lost the ability to just cut it off.
Yeah, you know what? I think that Run Button is just it's just a thing. It goes wherever the wind takes it, you know? It's like not even in our control. Like
it roams free.
It's its own thing, and we're just it lets us be at the helm, you know?
Yeah. No, I know exactly what you're saying. What you're saying is that the video is in the game and we just uncover it.
Yes.
The Run Button is already in our voices, and it's in our controller.
The podcast is already there. We've just got the chisel. We're just trying to reveal it.
No, because we're not working with stone. I get where you're going with that.
Well, it doesn't have to be literal because it's a metaphor.
But we're not. I don't have like one of those mallets.
No, but it's a metaphorically. We can our ability to speak is the chisel and the mallet to reveal the conversation that lies within.
I mean, like, words aren't like a thing that you could hit something with, but most of what you said was true besides that.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that we can agree to mostly agree. Did you play anything? Hi.
Wait.
Welcome, everybody, to the Run Button podcast. Hi, did you play anything?
Wait a second. There's got to be more of an intro than that.
Oh, I'm glad you asked. There is. Welcome, everybody, to the something in edit point. Welcome to the episode of the Run Button podcast. My name is Keith Carberry, and with me today is co-host Kyle Churchill. Hi, Kyle.
Edit point.
Huh?
Edit point.
You can't add an edit point. Only I can add
Keith.
Edit points.
It's great to be here. Thanks for having me as a guest
1 second.
on your podcast.
1 second. Edit point. Go again.
Hey, edit point. Hey, Keith. Edit point. Welcome to my podcast.
Sorry, I'm going to have to stop you.
Button podcast.
I have to stop you there. As the host of this podcast, only I can have the edit points.
Ugh, oh my god. Edit point. Can you fucking do that again? And this time, don't lie to people and tell them this is your podcast.
Edit point. Note to host. Just remove the part where the non-host said edit point. Edit point. And
edit point. Don't listen to the previous edit point.
Edit point. Don't listen to the edit points by the non-host. End note to self, end edit point, and with me is Kyle Churchill.
Keith,
yes.
Do you need 2 podcasts? Are you so greedy? You need to have this one and the other one?
I can't. I just collect them. It's like it's like you know how like last episode we kind of didn't really get amiibos. This is like my amiibos.
Oh. Do you mean like how everyone in my life who's ever been like, do you really not have enough video games? And I'm like, no.
Right, yeah. That's exactly what it is.
You know what? I kind of get it now.
Yeah, I've got to host this one. I've got to host How Are You Today, which you can find and review and rate and subscribe to on iTunes and also on the Run Button YouTube channel. I've got to be on Friends of the Table, and then I've also got to do that other one that I'm also still working on that we both know about that no one else does yet.
What?
Edit Point, the one where we were maybe... And Edit Point.
Oh. Edit Point. Yeah, I remember that now. Edit Point.
You can't add the edit points. Only I can do the edit points. And Edit Point.
Edit Point. Yes, Keith, I can add edit points. Thank you. And Edit Point.
And tangential edit point, selective edit point, regressive towards the last 3 minutes, and regressive edit point, and Kyle Churchill.
Hey, Keith, it's great to be here today. I'm so glad that we could first record a bit for your new comedy podcast, How Are You Today, before we started the Run Button podcast.
I like to think of that as like a nice sampling. If you're like, I've been listening to Keith and Kyle all these years, but are either of them any funny? And yeah, we are, and that's the sort of thing that you can find later in the week when the second episode of How Are You Today drops, featuring, for the second time in a row, Kyle Churchill.
Well, I mean, I think the plan is that I'm going to feature more heavily in the second one.
Much more heavily. It's going to be laden with Churchill.
Wow, that sounds like fun.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say this. This is a real edit
all
point.
Of a sudden, I got this throat thing going on.
You ready for this? This is a real edit point. Here's an edit point.
Okay.
You're only one episode in. I already have my eyes on some distant future episode where I just, like, guest host an entire episode under the premise that, like, you're sick or something, and so I have to take over it, but I've never heard it and know nothing about it, and I just have, like, a list of fake segments, but then also you're, like, the third guest, and we never mention the fact that you're supposed to be sick.
That is pretty good. That's pretty good. I'll keep that in mind. And edit point. I'll allow you guest courtesy that one edit point.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
Keith, we were just talking about this. For some reason, I don't have the passion today. It might be because here's what it probably is. Right now it's 10:45 p.m.
Yeah.
And I'm an old man now, where, like, I don't go to sleep before, like, 11 o'clock, but I definitely don't do anything important before 11 o'clock. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Well, luckily, this is not important.
What have I been playing recently?
Yeah, what have you been
Keith,
playing?
You know what? Could I say this right now? I donked it.
Oh, did you donk it? What'd you donk?
I donked it.
Did you not play anything?
Now, okay, listen, Keith. It's not that I don't know that I have now spent $170 in copies of Dark Souls 2. But the heart wants
Hold
what
on,
it wants.
I need to pause you here because I know where this is going. I need to say, before you continue this sentence, did they give you another way to buy Dark Souls 2 that you felt compelled to buy?
They did, and I was.
And where was it? Because you had it on the personal computer, and then you had it on the PlayStation 4.
I had it on the PlayStation Triple system, home entertainment console,
Mm-hmm.
and the frame rate was...
entertainment costume. What's that black box in your corner? That's for dress up.
Here's the thing about Dark Souls 2 was that on the PS3, the frame rate was bad, and also it was on the PlayStation 3.
Right, yeah.
And then they put it out on PC,
right.
And the frame rate was better.
Right.
And so I had to buy that.
I remember you saying that you had to buy it.
But then it was on my PC, so I didn't play it that much. But then they put it on the PS4, and it has the good frame rate, just like on the PC. but also
is on your couch.
it can be on my couch, and also it can be on my Vita, and so I had to buy it.
Have you been playing more of it?
Well, I bought it right before I went to the hospital for 24 hours to maybe, but then ultimately not have a baby.
That baby's still not born, right?
Still not born.
Okay.
No, but I did play it for like 20 minutes on a time when I came home from the hospital to get stuff.
Okay. You didn't fucking turn your Vita on? Get some hospital Vita time going?
Well, playing action games like over the internet on a Vita is...
Right, I guess that kind of defeats the reason why you bought that game 3 times.
Well, no, it's for playing at home on my Vita.
Mm-hmm. Right, no, but I'm saying if you were to take the Vita to another place, then you might as well be playing the PS3 version.
Right, yeah, I know.
Which at this point is nothing more than a costume.
Well, apparently they patched the whole Vita Remote Play thing so that it supports up to 60 frames per second, which sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
But it hasn't been the case playing at my house.
Well, the lag is different than frame rate problem.
That's true. But the frame rate is also kind of not great. I mean, it's at least 30, or at most 30 usually.
Right. Which is, I'm fine. Like, I would much rather, and I've talked about this before, I think, I would much rather a frame rate that is steady than a frame rate that fluctuates between like 40 and 60.
Yeah. Well, it also wasn't steady.
Oh, okay. Well, then fuck that whole thing then.
But I would prefer a frame rate. If it was I don't like a fluctuating frame rate that much, but if it's fluctuating between 40 and 60, I actually like that. I mean, there's a point at which it becomes intolerable, but I think mostly that sounds pretty good to me. But when I try my Vita Remote Play at home, I don't get anything close to 60 frames, but I'm wondering maybe if it's because right now my PS4 is on Wi-Fi, so maybe...
Okay, yeah.
Maybe if I plugged it in on that thing. Here's the fucking problem. And this is...
Oh, yeah, let's get mad. Let's get fucking mad.
This is the real problem with the dream of, like, the home that is wired for Ethernet.
Yeah.
As my house is.
Right.
Which is that, the one that goes up behind my TV that all my consoles used to use, like, just mysteriously one day stopped working. And, like...
You're saying, you're not blaming. You're not blaming the internet for this.
It's in the walls now.
Oh, it's
like,
you mean hard, like wired into the walls, not just like a house that decided to use Ethernet instead of.
No, It's in the walls, so it's. Granted, I have not done like extensive testing on it or any testing at all, so it could just be like the one port on the router went bad, and I can just switch it over and it'll be fine. But like. If it is the cable where, like, a mouse chewed on it somewhere, like, it's done now, basically.
It's done, yeah. Well, I imagine getting some sort of professional in there to fix that would not net you a pretty penny. Just like a regular penny.
Well, it probably wouldn't net me any money, because I'd be paying that guy.
Sorry, I guess cost you a pretty penny, not net you a pretty penny would have been a...
You don't think it would cost a lot to have a guy come in and rewire my walls with Ethernet
that's
cables?
Super easy. No, because like it's not. The thing about walls is that they're hollow. There's not like cement in there, so the guy could just like pull out the thing
Keith,
and then snake.
Are you a licensed contractor? Because I had no idea you knew this much about it.
I mean, I built part of a house once or twice.
Wow,
I did. Yeah, it's true. I built an addition onto my dad's house once.
So handy.
I know. I'm a
true Renaissance man.
Veritable jack of all trades.
Yeah,
so it is not a difficult job for anybody that knows what they're doing, and I don't think it'll take long or cost much.
Here's an interesting thing about the PS4 version of Dark Souls.
Oh god, finally an interesting thing. Let's go.
So this is the new. Well, it's one of. I didn't buy any of the DLC. This is the version that has all that DLC in it.
Okay.
And the newest one is called Scholar of the First Sin, and apparently
great name.
It is a good name. It reworks the like enemy placement in the game so that it has, I guess, a more even difficulty curve.
Okay.
So it's kind of interesting that it's like slightly remixed.
And also, if you've played through the game, having a new enemy placement would be like now you're not exactly sure what's coming around the corner.
Yeah.
Which is nice. Have you played enough of Dark Souls 2 and Bloodborne now to decide which of those you like better?
Well, I guess I would have to play Dark Souls 2 a little bit more now.
Because you seemed like, I mean, I'm sure that you really like Dark Souls 2 and that you really like Borderlands, not Borderlands.
I do really like Borderlands.
I really like Borderlands 1, mostly.
Yeah. Well, I didn't, whatever.
Yeah, it's...
Let's not
get into this, although fucking...
Keith, we're nothing if not a stickler for staying on topic.
Yeah, that is true, and if
Classic run button. They refuse to let a tangent get them.
If you could describe run button in 2 words, what would they be?
Laser focus.
Laser focused. Rock steady. Immovable, but if immovable was 2 words.
Not unimmovable.
Because when you talk about Dark Souls 2 and Bloodborne, you sound like lukewarm on them. I know that you're not lukewarm on them and that you really enjoy them, but hearing you talk about them is hearing someone like describe the flavor of wheat thins.
Yeah, I that one caught up to me. I guess it's because the Dark Souls 1, like, it might be my favorite game of the generation.
Yeah. And
I could, like, go on for hours about how much I like it. So it's kind of like, no matter how great Dark Souls 2 and Bloodborne are, like, I'm still kind of going to look at them and be like, meh. You know?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I remembered not thinking Dark Souls 2 was that great. I was like, Dark Souls 2, what a disappointment. And then I played it for a couple hours, and I was like, oh, I forgot that Dark Souls 2 is like a really good game. I completely forgot how great this game was.
Yeah, because is it that it's not as good as the first one, or is it just because it's not enough more? Like, it's not I guess the things about it are not new enough.
It's
to be
both.
I think it's great. I love Dark Souls 1 might be one of my favorite games of the generation, but doing that again is not impressing me the way that, having a fresh new game for the first time would.
It's a little bit of both. It's I don't know exactly the details on this, but I know that most of the lead designers on Dark Souls 1 moved on to Bloodborne, and like Dark Souls 2 was like kind of a different team. So they make a little like weird decisions with like the way like combat works, like it just feels a little bit different in a way that I don't really love, and the world of Dark Souls was kind of more interconnected. Like, you found a lot of like different shortcuts and stuff, and it was really impressive in the way that it felt like, even though there were a lot of varied environments, it all felt like one big place. There was a lot of that thing where you're like in one place and you kind of like look off into the skybox or whatever and go like, oh, that's that other place that I was just there. Or you end up in a place later and you realize like, oh, I saw this place from this other place earlier in the game, and it all felt like a really like contiguous thing. Like, it felt like a real place. And Dark Souls 2 feels very disconnected. All the different places just feel totally separate.
Legend of Grimrock 2 gave me a similar feeling to that. Mm-hmm. One of my favorite games from last year, where it was like at the very beginning they put you on an island and you're like, oh, an island. The last place was just in a dungeon, and it was just like dungeon all the way down. And then eventually you get to a dungeon and go through this, very...
By the way, Dungeon All the Way Down is one of my favorite classic 90s PC games.
I have a VHS tape of theirs.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You get into a dungeon and it's a very familiar feel from the first game, and that dungeon brings you into like a new environment that connects back to like a hidden door in the first environment, and it all feels like, oh man, all these 3 things that are totally separate are now also next door to each other, and it's great.
Yeah, that's great. Like Bloodborne, I think the game feels a little bit more like Dark Souls 1, so I like it in that way. But I think the problem with that I have with Bloodborne is that a lot of the environments all look exactly the fucking same.
It is. I will say that one environment is gorgeous.
It's a great look, but when you're just in that place for like 10 hours and it just all feels the same, it kind of wears you down.
It's actually kind of weird because like one of the things that I noticed about Dark Souls 1 immediately when that game came out was how like muted all of the colors were. Like there were colors in that game, but they all felt kind of like you were looking at it through wax paper. And
yeah, I think
it's weird. They went to Bloodborne and it was like Bloodborne is like less color, same thing, same muddy thing, less colors.
Yeah, like I certainly don't think you would ever look at Dark Souls, though there are certain spots in Dark Souls 2 that are very colorful, but normally you wouldn't look at it and go like, oh, what a vibrant game, how full of color and life the visuals of this game are. But I think by comparison, Bloodborne kind of took it way too far to the point where, like, when I first started playing it, I was like, oh, this game looks cool, it's kind of gray, but whatever. After like 15, 20 hours, it sort of wore me down, where it's like, man, I really would like to go back to the, by comparison, vibrant locations of Dark Souls.
I wish that brown was a dark green.
Yeah, exactly. That's like almost exactly my feelings on it. Yeah,
I have not played Bloodborne at all, so keep that in mind.
That you haven't played Dark Souls at all?
I haven't played Bloodborne at all. I've played like 5 hours of Dark Souls 1, and that's my experience with the Souls games plus Bloodborne.
I think that was part of why I ended up buying Dark Souls 2 was, even though I'm enjoying Bloodborne, I was still like the parts of it that I didn't like as much were kind of like giving me I was feeling a hankering for going back to the Dark Souls, you know?
Mm-hmm. I do now.
Also, I have known that Dark Souls 2 is coming to PS4 for like 6 months plus, so I've been like holding off on going back to Dark Souls 2, waiting for it.
Okay.
I didn't know that they were going to put it out like 3 weeks after Bloodborne, but what are you going to do?
I'll tell you what you're going to do. You're going to spend $170 total on Dark Souls.
Dark Souls 2.
Right. Dark Souls 2.
60 for PS3, and then 50 for PC, and then 60 for PS4.
Did you play anything else? Oh, thanks for those prices, by the way. Did you play anything else?
Like, right after we did the last podcast, I played a whole bunch of Ollie Ollie 2, Welcome to Ollywood.
I think you talked about this on the last podcast, actually.
No, we talked about it on some other video or something.
Okay. It all blends together.
Yeah, and Axiom Verge, which are both great games. I don't have, like, the fiery passion for them as I did a couple weeks ago, so I don't know.
Right.
Those games are great. People should play both those games, or one or the other, depending on their preferences. Axiom Verge is great. It's like Metroid. Hey, do you like Super Metroid? You should play Axiom Verge.
I want to say if you like Metroid, you should instead play Ori in the Blind Forest.
Shut up.
It's really, really good. The game's gorgeous and super fun.
But like Axiom Verge is like literally just trying to be a Metroid game.
Yeah, okay,
but
sure.
It's kind of better than Metroid games in most ways, I think.
That's some mud that you're slinging for some people.
Yeah, shots fired.
Shots fired at people that get mad about Metroid.
No, shots fired at people that like Super Metroid a little bit more than they should.
Are you subtweeting Han in our podcast?
What? Oh, yeah. You mentioned that Han was I don't know the details. You just said that he likes Metroid a lot. You said he likes Metroid a lot.
I think Super Metroid is his favorite game, and also did not like Axiom Verge, but I did not hear his thoughts on it. I don't even know if he had played it yet. I think like maybe it could have been like something about like the vibe he was getting from it. Even yeah, who knows? I could have looked into it more and didn't.
I'll say this about Axiom Verge. One of my favorite things about it is that it feels like it really sticks to the traditional formula of like a Super Metroid or what have you, but it does some fun little twists in ways that you don't quite expect. Like you'll find things that are like up high out of your jumping range, and you're like, oh, I've played one of these games before. I'll get like a double jump or something, or I'll get a triple jump. But you end up getting something that still lets you get up higher, but it's not exactly the same. It's like different in a way that you weren't really expecting. It's cool.
Right, yeah.
And it has a glitch gun. Have you seen the glitch gun?
No, I actually haven't seen. I don't even know what this game looks like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
It's
let's get
it
Kyle
looks.
and Keith on the phone.
Does it look like Missing No?
Waka waka.
There is one. Okay, so it looks like a 16-bit game, but like kind of better than a 16-bit game really would
Hello?
look.
Ugh, great.
This is why I wanted to finish my sentence before letting Andy come in.
Hang on, I wanted
So
to
that I wouldn't
gotta
get
figure
someone-
out the sound here.
Oh God.
You sound like you're shouting at a laptop from across a room.
No, I'm shouting at my computer from a couple feet away.
Okay, well that's what that effect is. Oh, you're holding a puppy in your Skype picture.
No,
No? Yes.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make it. I'm trying to make it so the output is on my headset, but it's not working.
Keith,
Yeah.
I saw that Andy was online. I chose not to bring him in yet. I was trying to finish my thing.
Oh, okay. I see. I understand the error. See, in my head, I was like, this will be a fun disruption for 10 seconds, but instead
Why
it's going to be a
wouldn't
fun
you wanna
disruption for
talk to
like
me?
2 minutes.
For like the whole podcast.
Now you sound like a whisper. You sound
Now
like
you're
It's
like
not about
whispering
that.
in
It's
here.
about who. It's because if you guys are coming out of my computer, then it's going to get caught on my recording.
Are you literally
don't worry
recording
about
this
it.
with a
I
tin
can
can?
fix it.
Andy, did you plug a tin can into your USB port?
No,
Are you sure?
it's more of a soup can.
A non.
Hang on, let me see if I can get a different headset. I'll be right back, guys. Don't leave.
Okay.
We're not going
bye.
anywhere.
So anyway,
Okay.
Keith,
Yeah.
it's a cool
Edit point.
looking-
Sorry. Edit point and go.
All right, yeah. Axiom Verge has like a cool 16-bit-ish looking art style, and it has this cool glitch gun where you shoot it at things and enemies, and it will either cause or remove glitches. So, like, in an enemy, you shoot the glitch gun at them, and then, like, their sprite will flip out all crazy, like it was a cartridge that you pulled out halfway from the thing.
Oh, that's cool.
And sometimes it'll make them easier to fight. Occasionally, it'll make them harder. But I actually did just the last time I played it run into an enemy where when you shoot the glitch gun at it, it basically just turns into missing no.
What are we talking about?
We're talking about Axiom Verge.
Sounds fun. Tell me about it.
No, first you have to fix your mic situation. Do the
Yeah.
thing that you were doing before. I can edit out the echo.
No, my mic situation's fine.
No, it's
No,
absolutely not.
This is the worst thing that I've ever heard.
It's recording separately on my own thing, so you'll get a fine recording of it.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm positive.
So you're recording on a different mic than you're using now.
Yes, exactly.
Why don't you just use the good mic for both?
Because I don't know how.
God, it's like we asked him to why don't you tie your shoes?
All right, Andy. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna clap on the count of 3, or it's gonna be 1, 2, 3, and then clap as if the clap was 4.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, this
Cool.
is
You're
perfect.
back now.
Whatever happened
Yeah.
is perfect. Keep doing this.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
3.
1, 2, 3.
No, that was wrong.
Keith, you got to clap too.
No, I mean he clapped early.
No, I know.
Okay.
I'm just ignoring him.
Okay. 1.
1, 2, 3. 1.
No, that was
2,
good because I have
3.
the backup.
No, I messed it up.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Okay.
Edit point. Figure it out later.
Keith did that once in his little comedy thing, and now he thinks it's like a fun thing to do.
No, it's like we did it for 7 minutes at the beginning of the podcast. It was hilarious.
There was 5 solid minutes of us just doing edit points back and forth.
Uh-huh.
It's like a whole thing.
Yeah, it was really good.
Don't worry, Andy. You'll get it when you listen back later.
Did you hear Andy's ridiculous opinions about voicemails on the thing?
Oh, I heard all about it. I took part in making fun of it.
Yeah, you did.
He did a whole bit.
You really skewered him.
Yeah, I got him.
I like how sincere that first message was. It almost made me feel bad for Andy.
It certainly made me feel bad.
Did it?
So I'm glad that you almost have empathy, Keith. Almost.
But we don't need to talk about this here. Suffice it to say, you should check out the first episode of the newest addition to the Run Button podcast family, How Are You Today? Hosted by Keith J. Carberry.
Hi, thank you. Yes, hi, welcome.
It's on our YouTube channel, and it's at the RSS feed is howareyoutoday.libsyn.com/feed
RSS.
Whatever.
or /RSS.
You should
In case
subscribe
you
on
couldn't-
iTunes and rate it because that's like technically that's important.
Oh, it's on iTunes.
It's on iTunes. Yeah, that's important in the way that things that aren't important are still really important.
What?
Yeah.
It's not important. It's not important, but it is also important. It's both important and not important.
Okay.
It's like a combination of being
Like-
unimportant, but also it's important.
Oh, like a single U.S. citizen's vote.
Right. Yes.
Come on. Let's, guys. Can we be civically minded here for a second?
I listen. I think that Kyle's observation was astute.
Hey Keith, you want to hear about the last game that I've been playing?
Yes.
Edit point.
What?
Did you forget?
I just said for too long. Edit point.
Oh, sorry, you're not the host. So I'll edit point. Edit out Kyle's edit points. End edit point. New edit point. Edit out the ums. End edit point. Okay, Kyle, go ahead.
Edit point. Thank you for handling that, Keith. Edit point. Hearthstone recently came out on phones.
Oh
On
yeah.
iPhone and Android phone.
Have you been playing that?
On both the smartphone versions. Keith.
Sorry, I think there's actually three
Keith,
different types
Hearthstone is now on both kinds of smartphones.
I think there's actually there's like a couple more kinds of smartphones. You wouldn't want to forget BlackBerry. They have a smartphone. And then what was the next? There was one more.
Windows.
Windows, right. It was Windows. So I guess I can't get it.
I thought it was Nokia.
Nokia Windows. It's a Disney Pixar sitch.
Oh, God. They have Marvel and Star Wars now, guys. What happened? When did Disney buy all of pop culture?
When they fucked up copyright law.
Oh, man. Here we go.
You mean when they invented copyright law?
Right, yeah.
Oh, boy.
Hey.
Oh, jeez. Keith, why don't you keep it to your political debate podcast, How Are You Today? Available on iTunes.
How aren't we getting along today? I just, listen, guys, if we could be real, I just hope that I don't come away from watching the new Star Wars movie going, that feels like a Marvel movie, because I don't like those Marvel movies.
I like them.
It's not directed by the same people, you dummy. Also,
Well, none of the Marvel movies are directed by the same. Those are all different people.
True.
Yeah, but they're different movies also.
But they all feel the same.
Wow. Check and mate.
I don't know, Keith. I think your taste isn't very refined.
I have an incredibly refined palette.
All
movie-wise.
superhero movies are the same. Done. That's
Keith-
an opinion now.
All right. Here is my feeling. I'm currently in the process of rewatching the Star Wars prequels, and I can already tell just based on the trailers alone that the new Star Wars movie is at least way better than those piles of garbage, so I'm fine with it.
Here's the thing. I'm upset because of the trailer, which I really did like, the newest trailer. It was the first thing that got me even partially interested in the new Star Wars movie.
It's good.
It is good. I am bummed out about Mark Hamill's monologue. He goes, the Force, I've got it. My sister's got it. My father had it. I think that maybe you have it too. And then I'm just like, ugh, the Force being passed down in families is like the fucking most boring shit in all of Star Wars. I'm just like that. That's not a story that I'm interested in. Is Force dynasties.
Sounds like contempt prior to investigation, Keith.
Oh boy.
Well, I can't. All I can do is investigate the trailer.
Keep that one.
The trailer is the only thing available for me to investigate.
Kyle, in case you haven't noticed, contempt prior to investigation is the principle on which Keith based most of his arguments.
There's no. All I can do is judge it based on that. I can't do anything else but talk about what I saw in the trailer and what I know about different Star Wars.
Exactly,
Which is a lot.
But judging it makes it stupid. No one should be judging it. The whole weird culture around like trailer breakdowns.
Yeah,
it's not a trailer
weird.
breakdown. It's a monologue that was in the trailer that supposedly was in the movie and is important to the movie, and that's a story that I'm not particularly interested in Star Wars wise.
Yeah, it was also like 15 words.
I've got it. Hey, but your father had it. Yeah. My sister's got it.
Oh, come on.
We kissed that one time.
Guys.
It was kind of hot. It was before we knew that we were related and retroactively.
No, let me explain. No, it was
sure
fine. We didn't know.
Sometimes it slips in there when I'm doing other stuff. Yeah, I think that it's ridiculous to say that you can't judge a trailer. Like there's no.
Yeah, sure.
Like I'm not gonna hold opinions until the movie's out. Like once the movie's out, I'll watch it and change how I feel based on having more information. But
I don't think it's enough information to really form an opinion about. Like we don't know that those words might even never be in the goddamn movie.
But that's literally what trailers are for: is to have you form an opinion about a movie.
No, they're to build like hype and to get people excited. It's more of an emotional thing.
Well, yeah, it's supposed the feeling that they want to build is a positive one, but sometimes negative ones happen too.
All right.
I mean, I can't believe we're talking about this when obviously the worst part of that trailer was old-ass Harrison Ford.
No, I like that.
Han Solo.
I like that part.
Like,
I don't know why you're so confused by that.
Han Solo, okay, it's two-sided. I don't think Han Solo really, in my head...
Okay, wait, real quick, edit point, sorry. Are the two sides of the same coin?
Sure, yeah. They're two sides of one coin, yes.
Got it. Okay, sorry. I need to picture what the sides are of.
Okay. I don't think Han Solo works as like an old man.
Okay.
And I don't think Harrison Ford can even remotely try to embody Han Solo anymore.
I'm trying to think of like the last action movie he was in where I thought he was good.
I want to see him do another Indiana Jones flick.
Like I don't think.
Oh yeah, that was not a good movie. He was not bad in that movie. That was like what, 2009? That the problem with the most recent Indiana Jones movie was not Harrison Ford's acting. So he already has like him as an old man in a version of a movie that was him as a young man.
But he couldn't save it, and he should have been able to.
I'm gonna steer this back to Star Wars. I guess again, this is like really nothing. It's just literally Harrison Ford there, and he says one thing,
right?
But like I think it seemed like he was just dressed in the exact same hair, like a Han Solo outfit as the original movies. It was like he wouldn't still be wearing the same thing, right?
He wasn't wearing a vest. He was wearing a jacket.
Han Solo did wear a jacket.
I guess he had.
I feel like he's like a Steve Jobs type. He settles into a look and sticks with it.
Yeah, Steve Jobs was like a huge doofus.
Yeah, but
you can call him a douchebag. It's fine.
He was a fashionista.
Yeah, he definitely was.
I will say that if there's any 72-year-old that can still be in a movie where he's supposed to act like a Harrison Ford type, it's Harrison Ford.
We'll see.
There's apparently Han Solo old does not bring up any pictures.
Yeah, I tried to do it also. I did Han Solo The Force Awakens, got nothing.
Yeah, apparently not a lot of people took screenshots of that.
Oh, wait, no, I got it here. I don't know. I guess it's like...
It's the same type of clothes.
He makes a facial expression. He goes like, "We're home," and then he has like a weird smile. And like that's like the facial expression he gives to me is like dumb old Harrison Ford that I've seen him do 100 times and like doesn't look like Han Solo at all to me, and I'm like, oh god, no, why is Harrison Ford Han Solo in this movie? This is the worst.
I hope he'll be oh, there he is. Yeah, I guess I don't there's nothing is saying. The only thing this says to me is man, I wish real people could wear leather jackets.
I thought you wore a leather jacket all the time.
No, I don't have a leather jacket. I've never had a leather jacket.
Guys, we're missing the real story here, which is that BB-88 droid.
Oh, that adorable little rolly.
He's so cute.
He's so cute. Oh my god.
That's a real robot.
It is. I just want to take him home and snuggle him.
Me too. Although, to be fair, does not look super good at snuggling. Doesn't have like the contours necessary for a snug.
I would probably leave the head off the bed and just take the ball.
Okay. I feel like that removes some of the cuteness.
Yeah, but you could kind of snuggle that more. You could kind of wrap yourself around it and just
I would take the head
there.
and not the ball. I would take just the head.
I know you would, Keith.
Oh, what are we talking about?
We're talking about our eventual techno future that involves sex with robots.
Yeah. No, you know what? The more I think about it, Luke Skywalker probably shouldn't have any kids, right?
But he definitely does.
He should be like a just a weird Jedi master, right?
I think the Black Stormtrooper is his kid.
Ironic, right? It's father and son. But the son is a stormtrooper now. He's like, fuck you, Dad, I want to be evil.
I can't remember what podcast that I was listening to where they were talking about, maybe this is getting too minute with what I think about Star Wars, but they were talking about, like, should the stormtroopers be like the embodiment of all evil? And I just want to be like, but no, they're just like fucking dudes that got recruited because the Empire would make you be a stormtrooper.
Yeah, they're just dudes.
They're basically innocent people for the most part.
Mm.
You know, like
how armies
like real
are.
Soldiers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
like they were just kind of like people that needed a thing that would give them some money,
right?
And didn't have a lot of other options.
Yeah,
except isn't it kind of worse because didn't they literally have zero other options?
Yeah,
I don't know anything about the fiction of Star Wars, the expanded fiction.
I imagine that almost all of them were conscripted from worlds that were conquered by the Empire. That's my impression of it.
No, there was like the clone army. That's what the clone army is.
Oh, the clone army was almost entirely died out by the time A New Hope started.
Yeah, that was different. Yeah, see, oh, god damn it. See, you know, people can make the argument like, hey man, the original movies, they're still there. Like, it doesn't matter that the prequels are bad. And in a way, they're right, but it also makes them think dumb things that aren't true, like stormtroopers are all clones.
Yeah. I feel like that's not entirely the fault of those movies, though.
It totally is.
I don't think so.
Because the movies never tell you that the stormtroopers aren't clones.
No, the first three, they don't at all.
No, they don't. But like it's been a while.
And even in A New Hope, when she's like, "Oh, aren't you short to be a stormtrooper?" and you're like, "What the fuck? They can't be. None of them can be short." And then you go, "Oh, they're all clones."
That is because they wouldn't allow people under a certain height to be stormtroopers.
Oh, really? Well, would they let people with cross-shaped lightsabers be stormtroopers?
Come on.
No, they'd let those people be Dark Jedi, though.
Oh, that's just a Sith, is what that is.
Yeah.
Gotta say, you know what? What looks cool?
What?
We
What's
said
that?
it before. The weird, ripply, fiery lightsaber thing.
Oh, what's that? Wait,
cool.
What are you talking about?
What's that?
The original, the first teaser with the cross-shaped lightsaber.
Oh,
like
yeah,
the
I remember
lightsaber,
that.
it's not just like a solid beam like all the other lightsabers. It's like weird and kind of fiery.
Really?
Oh, I didn't notice.
I'm not sure if it's just going to be that one or if all lightsabers are going to look like that. I would like it if they all looked like that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going back to look at that.
You know, I kind of like this. I don't hope that they are all like that, though.
Yeah, maybe not. I don't know.
Looking at it now, I like that. Here's what I do like about like lightsabers is that sometimes it's like a conical beam, and sometimes it is like when they twist it, you can see it disappear from being so thin. Like, and it kind of goes back and forth in a weird way. Like, they can't decide whether lightsabers is like a conical beam of light or a weird blade.
The lightsabers, I think most of them all do get smaller at the end. Like they are
taper
all
off.
Vaguely conical, yeah.
But sometimes, especially like in the first scenes with lightsabers, when they twist the blade, you can see it like it is thin, like a sword would be, like an actual sword. I
still the one thing that just had never made sense to me is how like the lightsabers are so obviously like an awesome, super great, super useful weapon, but like the idea that like, oh, it's so outdated, you Jedi and your old weapons, who would ever use a thing that can cut through anything?
Who's saying that?
Like that, like, in a couple of times in like A New Hope and stuff, it's like referred to as like a hokey or something, old weapon that is outdated that people don't use or something. I forget the specifics.
It is a sword. I mean, it's a
I know
sword.
that.
Yeah,
I know
it's
that
supposed to be like, oh, no one uses swords anymore. We all have these guns.
Right, yeah. I don't know. Maybe people like just kind of forgot.
I don't know.
I wouldn't be surprised if people were like didn't really know what a lightsaber was.
There's like that part at the beginning of episode 1 where the weird fish people are like in a room and they have the big metal doors go up and like Liam Neeson is like cutting through with his lightsaber, like he's just kind of like sticking it through the door to like cut it, and they're treating it like he has incredible magic powers. Like, how is he doing this? He just keeps cutting through the doors. It's like, yeah, it's just a thing that cuts stuff.
Again, I think that
this
lot
isn't
of
the
people,
incredible power of the Jedis.
I just think a lot of people don't really understand what Jedi are. Is the thing. Like, I think that what Jedi are is easy to know as a person watching Star Wars, but I think that there's like the galaxy's fucking huge and there's just not many Jedi and they're also magical and it's just hard to know exactly what a Jedi even is.
Okay, you've convinced me. You're right. Episode 1 is a great movie.
Did you say you were watching the originals, Kyle?
My girlfriend somehow roped me into rewatching the prequel movies.
Oh, buddy.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be good for you.
Are you having any re-opinions or is new stuff forming for you?
No, not at all.
I think that you're not. How invested are you in the watching though?
Oh, I'm watching. I'm sitting there and I'm watching it.
All right. Which one are you on?
It's all unveiling right before my very eyes.
Which one are you on?
We're 20 minutes from the end of Attack of the Clones.
Wait, you're watching? What are you're not finishing the movie in one go? What's wrong?
Well,
with you?
it was one of those things where we were just like both super tired, and we just decided to stop. I would have finished it, but she was like, "I'm going to bed." And I'm like, "Well, I'm certainly not going to keep watching this without you." So
now, hear me out on this. Attack of the Clones suffers almost entirely from really, really incredibly bad characterization of Anakin up front.
Okay, you know what? I'll say this. I shouldn't say that I haven't had any new thoughts because I have watching more Attack of the Clones, but also a little bit of the episode 1. I have been like, okay, I kind of see what Keith was saying when he said that the prequels had some good ideas. Because technically there are some good ideas here, but they're not fulfilled in any positive way whatsoever.
Right.
Yeah, sure. They're just not developed in a way that makes them
I think that episode 2 would have been like almost a really good movie if they had like
if it was completely different in every way.
If they had not characterized Anakin up front as a whiny entitled douchebag. And then tried to make you be sympathetic towards him from his mother dying.
Right.
Like, or if they had any other actor besides Hayden Christensen playing Anakin.
No, I think that he was. I think that he was all right. I don't think there's anything. There's like
he was terrible.
I don't think he did well with the material that he was given, but I also think that more blame can be put on the material that he was given.
Yeah, like I kind of fucking really like the scene with. First of all, Anakin Skywalker super creep, like real aggressive towards Padme.
Big, weird,
super
creepo.
Wicked, creepy, super aggressive, creepo creep. Anakin Skywalker, not a cool guy, super uncool.
Yeah.
I do think that I think that he really nailed the scene of his mother's death and the immediate following scene where he's like, my build stuff, I'm gonna throw this hydro spanner. I remember people making fun of that scene, and every time I watch it, I'm like, I think that he did a good job here.
Here's the problem, right? Is I think that the biggest problem with that movie is that you're right. He's like a big fucking weird creepo.
Is that people already hate him because he's a creepo, and because the very first thing is him being shitty to Ewan McGregor, who everybody loves.
Well, it's not that I don't think it has anything to do with the audience, like. But it's like, he's a big fucking weird creepo, and then he goes and murders an entire village, and he comes back and he's like, I killed them! And not just the men, the women, and the children too! I slaughtered them all! Ah! And then a bunch of action immediately starts happening, and like the very next conversation that he has with Padme is she's just like, I'm madly in love with you. And you're like, for what reason are you madly in love with this weird creepo psycho killer?
Yeah. Well, he also did, like, his mom died, and, like, they had her, like, tied up. Again, the thing that he did was horrendous, right? But, like, that was clearly a horrendous thing to do. And then, but, like, also, that's the thing, is that it's hard to have sympathy for him because he was already set up as the worst character.
Yeah.
Like, doesn't listen to Ewan McGregor, clearly thinks that he's better than he really is, like, being a total creepo at Padme, and then his mother dies, and in a scene where I would have had empathy for him, instead I was like, I can have empathy for him in that scene, but in the context of the movie, I'm just like, ugh. I mean, God, what a jerk.
At the very least, he weirdly slaughters an entire village of people. You at least go like, well, okay, let's take a step back. Yeah. Let's not, I don't know, get married the next day or whatever.
Yeah. Let's wait until the next movie to get secretly married. No, that was at the very end of Attack of the Clones.
It was, yeah. See, that was a cool idea of like a Jedi who gets secretly married. That's a cool idea.
Yeah. Secretly married. I also really like outside of having to watch those movies, I really like the arc of Anakin's fall. I think it's really interesting.
Wait, how can you separate those two things?
Because I understand the way that they were plotted out, like how they would storyboard it out. But
if you write it in bullet points, it sounds interesting.
Like kid taken away from his mother, like at 9 years old, then she, ripped away from her, he totally loses her. Then when he rediscovers her, it's like on her deathbed, and he has all these issues about death and about people suffering because he was, born into slavery. And then he falls in love with this girl, and then he fears that the same thing is going to happen to her. And then some guy,
I will become so powerful.
The evilest guy in the world goes
how to stop people from dying.
Yeah,
oh God. We get it, Anakin. Calm down.
Obi-Wan is overly critical.
Yeah.
Anakin, just listen, hear him out, okay?
He never lets me pick the tunes on our spaceship, space radio.
Just take some sleepy time tea and relax.
Have a death stick.
Sand is so coarse and dry, and it gets in everything. Things here are so smooth.
God, he's such a fucking creep. Smooth. He's a total creep.
And it's that. It's like he goes back and forth between being kind of this somewhat understandable tragic hero figure and being the biggest, weirdest, douchiest creepo. And she goes back and forth between being this intelligent, headstrong, independent woman and just being I have literally nothing has justified my interest in you, weird murderous creepo, but I love you.
Yeah. But this is what I'm saying is that movie does a lot of if you take some of the ideas out from that movie, so what I'm saying is those movies could have been made well and they weren't. That's my whole thing about those movies.
That's any movie though.
No, that's not true. I think that the Star Wars movies, the prequels, have the ingredients to be really good in them, and it was handled poorly.
But in what sense? Because I mean, if you break it down, like I can understand if it's a good script that's directed poorly, but like that's a bad script that's directed poorly. Like I don't know what redeeming quality you're talking about.
I'm talking about the ideas that are presented in the movie. Some of them are good Star Wars ideas, and some of them are not. And the ones that are good Star Wars ideas, if they focused on those, it would have been interesting. Like the secret marriage, what does strong emotion do to a Jedi? Like how, like that movie was their chance to justify why Jedi are fucking weirdos about like feelings and emotions.
The secret marriage, dealing with powerful emotions. The part where C-3PO's head gets put on the body of a battle droid, and the battle droid's head gets put on the body of C-3PO, and they kind of do weird things they're not supposed to do.
That was terrible.
Those were the 3 takeaways from Attack of the Clones that they should have kept.
I did not like that scene very much. No, it was fine. It was fine. Now that I'm thinking about it in the context of other fucking Michael Bay-style horrible slapstick comedy, it totally misplaced in an action movie, it's fine. That was fine. Those movies have good ideas, and they're not great. I don't think that people... I think people are... I think the way that people talk about those movies is insane to me.
Keith, you say that the movies are not great.
Yeah.
And I understand that not good could be included in not great. Like, they're not great and they're not good either. But do you want to downgrade that to not good?
Here's what I want to say. What I want to say is, Kyle, I want you to think back to the way that people thought of, where people treat...
Keith,
yeah.
I want you to do something that I know is very hard for you. Put aside what other people think. Tell me what Keith thinks.
It's not about
Be your own
think.
person with your own thoughts. It's about
not,
that.
No, because my entire thing about the prequel movies is watching people feel about them the way that people felt about the Mass Effect 3 ending, and feeling like that is the absolute worst part of like nerd culture, and not like that is the reason why I will not stop talking about what exists in the prequels that are good.
But Keith, you are not the nerd savior.
I don't have to be the nerd savior, but I can be the nerd heavy critic.
I don't know. I think they're lost.
The same. They might be lost, but I want to be able to wave the flag that says like, I know where the fuck I am. And it's not over there being so mad about Mass Effect 3 and Star Wars Episode 1 that I am basically the worst guy.
But I think the point Kyle is making is that you should be able to say where you are without...
No, those movies are not good. I've said before, those movies are not good, but they have things in them that are good.
All right, they're not good. Thank you. That's all I want.
I've said that before. I have said I'm on record as saying those are not good movies.
Well, I was here in the moment, and I was just trying to have a conversation with you.
In the same way that I can,
you
talk about
what shit.
About. Oh my God! Edit point. Edit that out. No, no fucking. No dissenters. Edit point. In the same way that I can, say what I don't like about a movie that I do really enjoy, I can also say what I do like about a movie that I don't really enjoy. It goes both ways.
Yes, that is true.
All right. Well, thank you guys for joining me for this new episode of the Run
Edit
Button
point.
Podcast.
Kyle's not the host. End edit point.
Glad that we could talk about all this Star Wars stuff.
Are we done?
Come back next week when
we're not
continue to talk about only Star Wars.
Edit point.
Revenge of the Sith.
Too.
The infamous no scene. Is it a neat callback to the original and then quickly scrapped in but a very few small instances of Star Wars being a throwback to old serials? Or
old cereal? Do you mean like Wheaties?
Just dumb.
Ugh.
You mean like Wheaties?
Shut up, Keith.
Do you mean like Wheaties?
Stop that.
God, Keith,
Do you mean like corn checks?
God damn you.
Jesus Christ.
Do you mean like
Are
rice
you
checks?
seriously doing this right now?
Eat a
Do you
dick,
mean like
Keith.
Special K?
Oh, Christ checks. It's my favorite kind. There's... yeah.
Kyle, did you want to talk any more about video games? We have a while to go on this thing.
Really. I've been
Guys,
playing...
I've been
that
playing some
Hearthstone.
video games.
What? I didn't want
What?
to talk to you.
I was going to tell you about my gaming.
What have you played?
Can I?
Yes,
Kyle,
you
can
can.
I? Is this okay?
You don't ask him, ask me. I'm the host.
You're not the host.
I'm the host.
I've mostly been just balls deep, as they say. Edit point. Edit that out. Edit point.
No, trust me. I'll edit it out. I'm not going to let anybody hear you say that.
I'm waist deep in Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, the best game of 2015.
Kyle has some words to say about that.
It's really good.
Oh, which parts are good? The parts where you have to follow behind people but not get too close, but not get too far away, but still stay hidden and listen to them have a conversation five times?
The main campaign is Garbage Town. I would rather eat feces than play that thing. But the stuff that happens around it is so great. Like that ship, dude.
I mean, that ship was fun in Assassin's Creed 3, but I
sure.
still didn't like that game.
But there's so much to do with the ship and like just the kind of the emergent gameplay that comes out of that I will take just that ship sim and cut out the core of what that game is.
That's fine. That's you're allowed to have that.
The problem is that I don't think the ship stuff, it's not deep enough. Like, you can't... I won't allow you to call it a sim. It's not simulating anything.
No, I know. I was abusing the word sim.
I really, really want someone to make a game that, like, the ship, like, sailing the ship and everything, and, like, the whole look of it all looks the same as Assassin's Creed 4, but, like, it feels more like you are, like, a bunch of pirates with, like, you know, pirate-type goals and stuff. Sailing the seas and doing your pirate business.
Doing your pirate shit.
I want that, yeah.
Pirate shit on a pirate ship. Yeah, I haven't played Assassin's Creed 4 because I feel like I would just be really disappointed. Just because it's not it's very specifically has the least of the stuff about Assassin's Creed games that I'm interested in. And it seems like every new Assassin's Creed game has less and less of that stuff. And I think I'm just gone from that series, basically.
Yeah. Well, they just put out the downloadable, the small game, the China thing. You guys know about that?
No, what is
vaguely.
It's like a $10 some kind of like 2.5D action platformer type thing.
that? Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Before I knew that that's what it was, I just saw like, leaked art or whatever of the next Assassin's Creed game, and it was like this female assassin who was in like ancient China or something, and it just looked so awesome, and I was like, oh shit, they got me again, I totally want to play this game. And then it was like, oh, the most interesting it's been in like X number of games, and it's actually just like a side-scrolling action game. Never mind. That was disappointing to me. I don't know.
Oh, I think I did hear about that. I don't know. Yeah, we live in such a different world than the world where I'm excited about Assassin's Creed. and like to think that world was only like 2 years ago is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's weird. It's just sad where that series has gone, and the sad thing to me is more like how many series have like been sacrificed to the money making machine that is Assassin's Creed, like Splinter Cell,
Prince of Persia,
barely around, like Prince of Persia. Most of the Tom Clancy games have gone on hiatus in various forms. Like,
yeah,
I mean, most of those games also kind of died out on their own.
Yeah,
sort of.
I don't know. Splinter Cell Conviction was fucking great.
Yeah,
it was so
you're right.
good.
Well, did you play Blacklist?
I did not play Blacklist. That was just Assassin's Creed with a gun, though. with a modern gun, not a hidden gun.
I rented it from a Redbox and I played it a little bit. I think I might have done myself a bit of a disservice because I think I was in the height of my like having a lot of fun playing Hitman on higher difficulties. And so I kind of started the game on hard instead of normal, and it was like stupidly hard, but I refused to turn it down.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, like I'm on board with anybody going, Black Flag's really fun, and I believe them that it's really fun. But it's like, I guess I'm not in. Yeah. I'm not in Assassin's Creed for the fun.
I've also been playing Daredevil.
What?
That's a TV show.
By which I mean watching Daredevil.
Oh, you tricked me into thinking there was a Daredevil game.
Nope, not a thing.
Do you like it?
I really like it.
Do you want us to talk about some video games and then you can tell us about Daredevil if you want?
I'll only talk about Daredevil if other people here have seen it, but I assume that is not true.
I have not seen it yet.
I have not seen it. No.
I owe it to my opinion of the Marvel movies to check out Daredevil, because my primary complaint about a lot of the Marvel movies is that I feel like the condensed time frame of a movie leads to like weird leaps and condensed arcs that don't make me enjoy the movie very much.
I'll say this about Daredevil before we move on, and then we can forget about it. There is some of that in that show. Like, there's kind of one specific relationship that goes from like start somewhere, and then it's like, oh, we're here now, and that's just kind of necessary for the story. I think they decided, but it does give Marvel really its like first real good villain. I think.
Talking about D'Onofrio?
Yeah, he's...
I heard that he really kills it.
He's excellent. I'm
very excited for D'Onofrio.
It's really surprising to me when you think of like Marvel villains in like the cinematic universe have like generally...
guys, Red Skull, come on, right?
I don't know who Red Skull is.
I've got a Red Skull poster on my wall right here.
I mean, it's a cool poster, but I don't know. I
got two of them. They're so cool.
The characterization.
It's two different. It's one. It's just him standing there, and then the other one is like from a different angle.
Listen, I'm as big a fan of Hugo Weaving as the next guy, but it's just didn't do much there.
Did Hugo Weaving play Red Skull?
That was Hugo.
Oh. Yeah, and in one of the posters, he's holding that weird glowy cube that mattered for some vague reason that they didn't explain until I feel like later. Guys, remember that glowy cube?
Never even seen that movie.
Which movie?
Oh, God. I watched it, and I sometimes forget that I've seen it.
Sorry, which movie?
Captain America.
Oh, that... Okay, so here's the thing. Captain America was easily my least favorite of all of the Marvel movies that I've seen. Also, I've always hated Chris Evans. Also, 2 days ago or yesterday, he said some slurs that were not great.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I was just like, ugh. He and Jeremy Renner, that plays Hawkeye, if that's the name of that guy,
it is.
Said some slurs about Black Widow's character in an interview, and it was very weird that they did that. Guys, do we have to talk about wearable technology?
No.
Do we have to talk about Apple Watches? Do we have to talk about...
We never finished talking about Hearthstone, which was what somehow launched us into a discussion of Star Wars.
Do we have to talk about phones
We never even talked
wrist?
about... I never even found a way to guide our Star Wars discussion into a discussion of Star Wars Battlefront.
Oh, that looks so good.
Who's hyped for that shit?
I'm so hyped for that shit.
It's you and me and only us, Keith.
No, that's not true. I was at work and just random fucking random idiots I work with were like, "Did you see the fucking Battlefront trailer?"
Nice.
Keith, where do you work now?
I deliver pizzas.
Ooh.
Yeah. Turns out you make a lot of money delivering pizzas.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
Yeah.
You got you driving a Maserati?
No, I was driving a Jaguar and I crashed it my first week.
Okay. Sorry, Kyle. I think that game's going to be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we, what about space, though? I'd like some space. Can we get some space?
Space?
You know
what do you mean space?
The first Battlefront didn't have space, and that was still a great game. It's fine.
I think it was better. I like the two things that keep me from liking Battlefront 2 more than Battlefront 1 is that I don't really like the space sky battles, and I didn't like the hero thing.
Yeah, heroes are confirmed for the new one, which is kind of a bummer, but it's fine.
What's the hero
the
system?
problem with the hero stuff in 2 was that like the movement and all of it was terrible.
What is the hero thing?
It's like when you would respawn as like Yoda or Vader or whatever, and you'd be invincible and you just kill everybody.
If you did really good, you could be like a Jedi, basically.
Huh.
Which like the best thing about Battlefront is that it's like, ooh, what's Star Wars like when there's no jet? That's like the
It was like, hey, what if everyone was just stormtroopers?
Yeah. Also, 2 did not have Best in Cloud City, best map of anything of all time besides Lockout from Halo 2.
Whoa.
Lockout?
Yeah.
Wow.
What? Dude, Guardian on Halo 3, what's wrong with you?
Which one was Guardian?
Guardian on Halo 3 was just a fucking shitty remake of Lockout.
You're
that
a
one was
monster
okay.
and a dummy.
Guys, what about... I don't know.
And then third place is 2 Fort.
Ugh. 2 Fort's lame.
I like 2 Fort a lot.
What's 2 Fort?
2 Fort's from Team Fortress 2?
It's from Team Fortress 1, actually.
Never played
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Look at this fucking scholar.
Yeah, well, I popped in Team Fortress 2 day one, and I was like, sweet, 2 Fort, let's do this. And then I was like, oh, actually, 2 Fort's lame. I'm dumb. And so is everyone else who likes 2 Fort.
I like 2 Fort. But I also haven't played Team Fortress in,
you play as a
100 years.
sniper, so of course you like 2 Fort, because it's just a bunch of sniping jackholes.
I play as a sniper and as a spy. Those are my 2 classes.
The term jackhole really tickled me. I don't know why.
You guys, would you?
Keith, could I tell you about my brief time with Dark Souls 2?
Yeah.
What about Hearthstone?
In that game, you can leave messages for people, as you may know, and you can string them together. You can put 2 messages together with like a joining word, like but or and or then.
Okay.
And the first one I found in Dark Souls 2 for PS4, it said, tongue, butt, hole.
People, a lot of people aren't funny, but some people are, and some of those people play Dark Souls too. Do you want to real quick get into Hearthstone so that we can have to talk about watches that have apps?
Sure. Dark Souls Hearthstone Edition. Hearthstone continues to be like the best digital trading card game that you can play, and it's free,
really good.
Except it still makes me give them money like all the time.
I've still never. No, when it was in beta and it said, if you give us money, you can get a special card. And I was like, no, I'll give you $2. That's the only money that I've ever spent.
Hearthstone is the only free-to-play game I think that's ever gotten me to spend money on it, and I spend money on it like constantly. Not in like a weird, unhealthy way, but just like in a...
You're not a whale?
I'll play like a couple matches and then also be like, meh, I'll get a pack of cards.
I understand it. Like, the call is always there. The siren's call is always in my ears when I play the game.
I think $3 for 2 packs of cards is like exceptionally reasonable by collectible card game standards.
Yeah, that's true. I also and the other thing is that I always feel like I don't have as many cards as everybody else does because I'm not buying cards and I'm also not playing enough to I'm not playing so much that I'm getting all these fucking cards all the time because I suck at Arena. Like, I can win 5 or 6 regular matches in a row. I will lose all but one Arena match.
I love the idea of the Arena, but recently, like the 2 times that I've tried it since I got back into Hearthstone when it came to my phone, went real bad.
I'm going to have to one day watch a video on how to make a good Arena deck because I just suck at it so bad.
Is the secret you have to buy cards? Is that what I have to do? Because I also suck at that game.
I don't think so. I don't think that...
I definitely got a lot of good cards from buying cards. Like, that's for sure.
Yeah. Maybe I'll buy it. No, I'm not going to buy it back. I'm not going to buy it back. Shut up. Okay. Apple Watches. Why wearable technology? What is going? Do you have like a thought? Like we have to.
I will say I have something I'll say about smartwatches.
Okay,
is that I thought they sounded really dumb, which I think most people do think that they seem dumb. Like, why would I want this?
Yeah.
But
well, to be fair, I think that Apple Watches exist in the same place where with like VR stuff, where like there are people, mostly the older, whiter tech dudes, who are so into it.
Yeah.
So into like I'm so ready to give myself up to shit on my wrist and shit on my head.
I think you're on with the older, whiter thing for like watches and stuff. I don't know about for VR.
Oh, VR definitely.
I think the older, whiter guys are the ones that can afford VR right now.
I think the people that I hear that are super into VR are like Kuchera types. That guy, he's always chattering on about VR.
Super white.
Super
Ben
old. Well, he's not
Kuchera.
super old, but he's definitely super white.
You know what? You know what? You said that, and I thought Brian Crescente. Or Crescente, or whatever his name is. Sorry, I take it back. I don't know who Ben Kuchera is.
He's the white Crescente.
Okay.
Oh no! But the thing is, see, I'm completely against the wearable thing. I thought was dumb, and then I walked into an Apple store the other day.
Why would you do that?
And I tried one on.
Oh no!
And it is that like thing of like tech porn. Like, oh, I would want one of these if I had a disposable $400.
I just like I can't imagine it being useful. That's the thing. I can't like.
Well, sorry. Finish your thought.
I can't think of because here's the thing. Like, I don't want to be technophobe guy who is like, do we need to be closer to our screens? Like, I'm not that guy at all. But the thing is, like, I am already so close to my screen that putting it that close not only is unhelpful because I already have easy access to any technology that I need in my pocket or in my laptop or in my bag or in my desktop, but all it will do is keep that fucking call present all the time.
Yeah.
I just like open my phone. I just like take my phone out of my pocket and I unlock it and I look at it and I flip it up and then why am I doing this? I don't need to look at my phone right now, and then I put it right back in my pocket. Like, having that on my wrist, I just feel would make me specifically, like, it would drive me insane. I would be like the fucking, that Greek dude that looked at his reflection in the water till he died. Like, I'd be fucking Adonis looking at this phone until I withered away into a nothing.
Wasn't that
it wasn't Adonis? It was like Narcissus or something.
Narcissus.
But I mean, I kind of disagree. I mean, I can't disagree with your experience, Keith. But I'll say for me, I feel like it's a thing that is designed actually to kind of get the screens like out of your face more. And I don't have to have my phone up to my skull all the time, because like the fact is, if I don't have if I have this thing on my wrist, I like have more information right there. I can just kind of be like, oh, okay,
I can see that.
Done. Whereas
instead of the whole motion of taking your phone out and looking at it and opening it or whatever, it's kind of like you just look at your watch and maybe tap it and then put your hand down.
I guess like the variable is like, will having it on my wrist make me spend more time or less time obsessively unlocking it, swiping it up, not doing anything because there's nothing for me to do, and then putting it back in my pocket immediately?
Well, it sounds like you need to find more things to do with your phone. That's the main problem.
Well, you know, a lot of the times there are there are things to do, but it's like I've become increasingly aware of the amount of time that I spend like tapping my screen when I don't even know why I'm doing it at all. Like, I have no.
Yeah.
There are also times where I'll be on my laptop and I'll be on the internet. I'm like, oh my god, what have I done for the last 80 minutes? I haven't done anything.
Yeah.
But I don't remember. Like, that time just is gone. Like,
yeah,
I didn't do anything.
Spent 60 minutes on this computer and I don't feel like I did anything.
Right. Yeah. Like, what was it? Was I just like clicking to different tabs? Like, what did I even do?
I will tell you about the time that I most strongly felt like I wanted a smartwatch, and I have to admit that this is like an almost artificially strong use case for it, which was that a couple of people that I worked with at Best Buy had them, and I was like, oh shit, I want that so bad. But part of it was because when I worked at the Geek Squad, there's like a super strict rule about not taking out your phone because you're using other people's computer and accessing their data all day long. So it's like this privacy policy thing where it's like if we take out our phones, we could take pictures of people's information or something. So like we're actually pretty much banned from using our phones while we're working, and like the smartwatch like neatly skirted that issue. But like when I'm not working at Best Buy, which I'm no longer doing, I don't know that there's a great case for it.
That does sound like a really great case for it.
Yeah.
Because like that's the other thing is that I am only partially hesitant to admit, because I know that this is a thing that is basically universal at this point. Like, not having my phone is incredibly stressful for me. Partially because it's a sickness, and partially because it seems like every time I don't have my phone on me, like I forget it somewhere, a horrible thing happens.
Why would you not have your phone?
When I worked at Barnes & Noble, they would not let me have my phone on me.
Oh, really?
I would break that rule nearly constantly, but there were times where they would like make me put my phone in my locker because they saw me texting or something.
Yeah, like the work environment,
or like I would go to school and I would forget it at my house or whatever.
Oh, really?
Stuff like that.
Yeah, the work environment I'm in now is like way more friendly towards phones, but also like my workload is pretty severely diminished, so like the amount of time that I could be spending on my phone, it's like one of those dumb things where like a lot of times at my job I have nothing to do, and yet somehow like people still look at you weird if you're using your phone all the time. Like I always see like just the other day, like one of the like really high up managers at the company like did one of those things where he like came up behind me and was like, "Is that work?" And I was like, no, because I did all my fucking work. Fuck you. But like now it's kind of like, ugh, now I can never have my phone around this guy ever. Ugh.
Are you still at the airport, Kyle?
I am.
Oh, cool. No, just catching up, guys. Sorry. Edit point.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Listen, we're friends and we do talk about friendly stuff. I think that's another thing is that I feel like that stuff is really useful for texting and reading texts and maybe sending them and
maybe receiving texts
and maybe probably mostly receiving texts.
Yeah, like what else is it gonna do? I don't know.
Right. And then like specifically as someone not currently in a relationship, I never am sending texts ever. Literally never.
Wait, I thought you were in a relationship.
No. Well, if I still was, I wouldn't have said I'm not in a relationship right now.
You're right. I admit it. I was fishing.
That's fine.
Point.
No, I broke up with her a couple months ago.
Sorry. Why'd you do that?
To the curb. Yesterday's garbage.
Yeah, it was very sad for everyone. So like I don't know. I'm not.
I would like to point out that my enthusiasm about that is not somehow rooted in any knowledge of the situation because I have none.
He has none. That's true.
It's pure ignorant enthusiasm.
Yeah. I basically use my phone as a GPS for work, for like driving to places, for like YouTube videos, and for checking obsessively Twitter notifications.
Can I tell you what I use my phone for?
Yeah.
Playing card games, reading manga.
You can't do either of those on the smartwatch.
Reading about young ninjas fighting grown-up ninjas.
Is that a new manga? Is Young Ninjas?
yeah, young ninjas.
Young ninjas fighting, and then each episode is the different thing that they're fighting.
I use my phone to quietly masturbate in public restrooms, which is a proud tradition I will continue once I get a smartwatch.
Amen.
I mean, but you're not going to be using the smart. That's a small.
Yes, I will.
Okay, all right.
You know they'll make that app.
All right.
I'm gonna be doing 2 different video streams.
You do you in a bathroom.
Could I say we did a remarkably good job at avoiding talking about video games throughout this entire video game podcast?
Edit point.
I brought up a tech thing. Edit point. Edit out Andy saying edit point. And edit point. I can say this. They're
edit point. And edit point.
All right, we good?
Can we talk about office chairs? Because I need an office chair. Does anyone have any ideas?
Oh my God,
just
Andy,
Office, Microsoft Office.
You just fucking. Here's the thing. I was using a really terrible office chair, and I was having horrendous shoulder and neck pain.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Every day. And I didn't know it was from the office chair. I thought it was my pillow or my mattress or something. And I was like, you know what? I can't figure out how to fix this problem. I'm just going to get a new office chair, and maybe that will help. And since the day that I got this chair, my back has been the best. It's the best.
Yeah. The thing about office chairs, like, for a thing that you use constantly, they're not expensive at all. Really,
this one
to get a nice one.
This one was $170.
That is like that's like in the higher.
Yeah, this was like the second most expensive one that they had at office. Like I went to the ones that are like these ones are good for 8 and up hours, and I was like, yep, those are the ones that I need.
There was a dark period in my life where the the back of an office chair is typically only held onto it by connection to the 2 armrests.
Yeah.
And the connection broke on one side so that I couldn't put like any weight on the back end of the chair or it just would have broken off. So for like 6 months, I lived this awful life where I never leaned back in my chair whatsoever. And it like completely fucked up my back. And when I finally replaced it and realized like, oh my God, I paid almost nothing and this is 100 times better. I'm so stupid. How could I have lived like this for 6+ months?
Mm-hmm. Give me brands, guys. Give me brands. What am I looking at?
I don't know the brands.
I don't know the brand. I can text you a picture of what it looks like and tell you that I got it at Office Max.
Yeah, do that.
Okay.
I'll say this. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure like every office store has something like this, but I know at Staples, they have like a thing where you buy the chair and you pay like $20 extra for the insurance so that when the chair inevitably breaks in like 12 months, like they always do, you can go back and they'll just give you a gift card for like the full amount of the chair and you just use that to buy a new chair and then pay $20 extra. So it's like you're basically keep buying a new chair, but like for $20 each time.
All right.
That's a sweet deal.
I'll do it. Thanks, guys. This has been actually really productive. Edit point.
Hey, I think I found the chair that I got.
Edit point. Keith, I don't think Andy really understands the edit point bit.
I don't think so either. You know what? He's always been kind of a loose cannon. I don't think there's any real way to keep him from just doing whatever the fuck he wants. But
Guys,
I'll just edit him out.
Can I use up one of my 10 edit points now? I'm gonna go get a piece of fruit from my fridge.
Yes.
Hey, Andy, wait, don't go to your fridge. Hang on a second.
What?
Andy, do you want to come to my house soon and be on a video where we play Mario Party?
Yes, I want to do that.
Yeah, I've been racking my brain for a 4th person for our Mario Party game, and then I realized maybe Andy.
Yeah.
Who's the third?
Nicole.
Oh yeah, she's your kind of like your wife.
Kind of like my wife.
Keith is kind of like your wife too, huh?
That's true.
Yeah.
That's the thing that people on the internet have been saying a lot recently.
They're all ignorant is what they are.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we've also discovered recently because I've been getting into my Ask FM again, Andy.
Yeah, you've been really
Ask
killing
FM,
it on
right?
Ask FM.
What is that?
People can ask you anonymous questions.
Yeah, people just submit anonymous questions and you can answer them. But the thing is, there's a button to when you answer the question to blast it out on Twitter. Mm-hmm. So I just do that a bunch.
Yeah,
and we found out pretty quickly that like nobody knows how cousins work.
Yeah,
like,
it's insane.
Someone was like, if your mom and Keith's mom are both sisters, doesn't that make you half brothers? Like, what? No.
Yeah.
What do you think cousins are,
Kyle,
then?
People have been asking me for months on my thing, like, how come Kyle and how come Kyle and you talk about different people that you say my grandpa, but sometimes our it's fucking crazy that people are cousins.
We've talked a bunch about how Keith's grandfather is like rich and would give Keith a bunch of cool presents when he's growing up. And just today, someone was like, "How come Keith's grandfather favored him so much and gave you nothing?" And I was like, "Because that's the grandfather I'm not related to."
I feel like that's one of those pieces of information that, like, at first is puzzling, and then when you think about it, is just depressing. It's like those videos of people that when they go to Times Square and they're like, "Who's the president?" and they're like, "Reagan." Like, nope, nope. That's a sad thing about the world that I just learned.
Yeah, it's nobody knows what a cousin is, and it's super weird. Like, because here's the thing. I already knew this because when I worked at the ice cream place, I had my cousins Aaron and Mara both worked there, and their cousins worked there, and their uncle was the boss. But I was not related to them, and even the other people that we worked with could not figure out how that worked.
Yeah,
they could not figure it out, and I'm just like, he's their uncle because he's their mother, who's my aunt by marriage, her brother. So we have no relation to him. Like
you do like even now you saying that I couldn't really follow it.
Yeah, that was hard.
You know, you gotta. Like,
okay,
I almost
sorry.
thought like
it's the way
almost wanted to just draw a family tree and like tweet the picture of it.
Okay, so here how it is. Imagine my Uncle Kurt, my father's brother. My Uncle Kurt, not your uncle.
No,
right? Because he's your uncle by marriage's brother, which is nothing to you.
You know, like that line from Spaceballs.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Except that ended with roommate. I mean, I'm not related to anybody's roommate.
Ah, man, I used to think that was such a funny line. We've come so far.
Whatever.
We've come far.
It's a little bit funny.
It's very little bit funny.
I'll show you funny.
Have we reached the end of this thing?
We got to be close.
We're Just Cause 3. I don't know.
Yeah, sure. That'll be a fun game.
That'll be a fun game. Xbox sales decline.
That's dumb.
Xbox sales decline, huh?
Xbox One sales decline.
Huh.
Microsoft posted 21.7 billion revenue for third quarter. And
have you guys dug into how bafflingly insane the launch of the Xbox One was, and how just the ongoing strategy for that thing is a ridiculous mess? Or have we already done that to death?
I think if I understand the angle that you're coming at it from, then I think that we have talked about it. But maybe you have a fresh take. Maybe you got a hot take.
No.
All right.
No, I was thinking about it because I saw the thing where like Phil Harrison, the Xbox guy, left from Europe, and it just had me reflecting on how just batshit crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, and Don Matrick just got fired from Zynga, which is which is amazing because I can't believe he got hired by Zynga.
Is Don Matrick one of the ones that we don't like? I can't remember. I can never keep them straight.
Don Matrick sucked.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
That couldn't talk in front of people, but was still somehow the vice president of.
Right. Yes.
Oh, that's right. Like for 5 years running, like every E3, my thing was like, please fucking make this the year where Xbox realizes they shouldn't put Don Matrick on stage with a microphone, and it kept happening.
It took them 4 years to figure that out.
Who's the one that people did like then?
Peter Moore? Wait.
Yeah,
no.
Peter Moore,
yeah.
And before that,
God, I can't remember his name.
Allard.
Right.
Jay Allard. Oh
yes,
my God.
yes.
I can't believe I forgot Jay Allard's name. I'm sorry, Jay. I'm so sorry.
It's fine. I can never remember any of their names.
I have to go kowtow to my mannequin wearing a hoodie and blazer.
I don't know. I think that it's such a weird thing because there are, there's always things about one system that are better than another system. There's pros and cons to everything. I think the pro to the Xbox was or straight away kind of having a lot of games to play, and the PS4 didn't really.
Not really. Well, but
comparatively,
I haven't been paying attention to the Xbox One that much, but there's a ton of indie games and stuff on PS4.
Yeah, now is a different story. It's a totally different story now.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, during the launch, people were still upset about it being always
just
on.
That they messed up the launch of their system.
They fucked it up so bad.
As hard as someone could possibly do,
Right,
short of going, it's in stores now, Sega Saturn.
Sega, God.
But, like, it feels like, but they've completely turned it around since then, which they sort of have, but it doesn't matter because most people
checked out, like, during the shitty announcements.
Yeah, like, because, like, people like us who know about video game stuff, it's like 2% of people that buy video games. Like, the other 98%, they're one guy that they know who kind of knows about video games went like, oh yeah, fuck Xbox One, you can't play used games, boo, and they, like, checked out forever.
Yeah.
Like, they just know forever now that the Xbox One isn't the one to get.
Right.
And my thing is just a basic, like, I have an Xbox One, and I look at it every day, and I get a little angry inside because it's so big and stupid looking.
Oh, really? No, I never do that with mine.
It's pretty big and stupid looking.
It's
so,
like barely...
it's so dumb and large and ugly. And it's like, I want my shit to, like... I'm the kind of nerd, like, I want my shit to look kind of cool. Like, I
don't think it has any sort of characteristics that make it look ugly.
Pretty cool.
No, my point is it has no characteristics. It's a fucking black box... and that's it. And it's huge and heavy and noisy and annoying. And I wish
noisy? It's not noisy either. I don't know what you're talking about. Do you have it like
noise.
I don't know.
The PS4 is all slanty.
It's so slanty and cool looking. I just want something that looks like that. But
it's
Xbox,
super cool looking.
I need Halo.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Halo,
I don't think that the Xbox One or PS4 like have any sort of edge over each other in terms of like design of the box.
What?
Yeah.
I think the PS4 has the clear upper hand.
Have you looked at the PS4?
It looks like the Xbox One, but it has a slanty front. They look the same to me.
No.
Keith, young Keith, naive Keith.
I also
He's but a babe, Andy.
I also
Keith,
just like super don't care
Keith,
about.
I'm sending you a 3-hour interview with Johnny Ive. I need you to watch this and then get back to me.
Yeah, I don't know. There's nothing about Kyle's PS4 is huge. My Xbox One is huge. They're both big.
It's just not true. What
My
you're saying,
PS4
though.
is not huge like your Xbox One is huge.
You've never seen my Xbox One.
Yeah, you brought it to my house.
Yeah, but we never
did
took it
that
out.
video where we played Halo 2.
Oh yeah, I guess we did.
And other Halos in one complete package.
Here's the thing. I think
Xbox Halo Master Chief Edition in stores now.
I feel like I've mentioned this at some point. I feel like I've mentioned this at some point. I am so mad that I don't have a Kinect. Every time I have to type something into that fucking thing, I'm so mad that I can't just say the words.
Just use your companion app and be done with it.
What? Companion app?
Yeah, use the companion app. You type everything on your phone. It takes 2 seconds.
Oh, type it on my phone. No, I just want to say it.
No, I get that you're lazy. I'm saying that this is a way to be like almost as lazy as you're talking about.
Okay. I'm sure that there's a companion app on the Windows phone that I have. That would be insane if there wasn't. So
yeah, it's called Smart Glass. Just download that shit. You're welcome. Edit point.
I don't know. Like
I'll
I feel like getting my phone out would take just as long as just typing shit in. No, that's not true.
Yeah, kind of. Well, maybe
it definitely doesn't because typing on that thing is a terrible mess.
You could probably find a Kinect on like an eBay or a Craigslist
that's
or something.
What I'm gonna do. That's what I'm gonna do.
Because that's what I did. I have my like PS4 equivalent of the Kinect, but I just got it from like Craigslist or something.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the same thing. That was my plan that I was gonna do, and I just still haven't done it. Andy, hot tip for your Xbox One: get Ori and the Blind Forest. It's really, really good.
Oh, dude, I'm on it.
It's so good.
Dude, I am waist deep in Ori and the Blind Forest.
Oh, really?
I don't think it is on 360. I think it's an Xbox One exclusive.
It's Xbox One and PC.
Xbox, any Xbox only game might as well be exclusive to the Xbox One because I just for some reason have this weird aversion to using my 360 at all now. I just never touch it. I don't know why.
It's on Steam. Play it on Steam.
Oh, well, okay then.
It is a console exclusive for.
It's so good.
It's really fucking great.
And really fucking hard, but it's probably the only game that's hard that I can still appreciate. I usually hate hard games because it reminds me of my mortality.
Yeah. Andy, it's super hard. You're right. Can you stop listening for a second? Just one real quick second.
Yep.
Kyle.
Yeah.
It's not hard.
Okay.
Okay.
It is hard.
It's not.
It's
you said you
hard.
were listening. You betrayed my trust.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did, and I do it again. It is hard. There are some jumps that are tricky.
There are a couple. There's a couple moments that are hard.
Can you edit? Can we do edit point on that intonation for me? I'm going to do it again. There are some jumps that are tricky.
Okay, yeah, that sounds less like you're a whiny baby.
And edit point.
There was a part that I definitely redid like 8 times, but I think that was like the one thing. And also because I was like on a Skype call with other people and not paying attention super closely. So when the tree starts filling up with water.
Yeah, that shit's nuts.
Yeah, that was great though. Like my first go at it, I was 1 jump away, and then I had to do it like 5 more times.
Dude, the score, just the score and story and graphics, they just meld together in a beautiful. It's like peanut butter and chocolate.
How did you not come out of the gate with this? This is a way bigger deal right now than Black Flag.
I forgot. I play it. My girlfriend doesn't let me play it without her.
Okay.
So it's been a while since I played it.
That's not co-op. She's just watching, right?
No, she's just watching me. She just likes how the little guy is adorable.
He's so adorable.
And when the bigger creature comes
she's so
out,
adorable.
She loves that girl too.
Yeah. Swimming in the water is wicked cute.
Mm.
It's a very adorable game and also really fun. And very sad.
Yeah, very sad.
Sad.
Don't play it with your kids in the room because they will cry and they won't stop.
Expect an up arc.
What do you say?
Wicked side up front, and then it stops being sad after 10 minutes.
Oh yeah, you forget about how sad it is.
Oh, I never.
You guys done? You guys done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Got it.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
All right. Was there anything? Does anybody have anything else to add before we close out on this?
I just did an improv show at a weird, kind of like a veterans hall.
Yeah.
And in the middle of the show, 2 police officers came in and started walking around asking for a guy named Dave. And we were like, should we go? Like, should we keep going? It was very strange.
You should have invited one of the officers to do a scene with you.
Well, then we thought it was for a breast cancer benefit, and then we were like, maybe they're strippers, but one of them was kind of fat, so we decided that was not the case.
Okay. How did the show go?
It went well.
Yeah.
There was a scene where I
Are you good at improv?
I was crying, and
I don't believe it.
And someone brought me a piece of cake. I wasn't actually crying.
You were fake crying.
I was fake crying, but a full-grown man did bring me a real piece of cake.
Oh,
as a please stop crying.
I think it was.
No, it was like a please get off the stage and just eat this cake.
Well, I don't know if that's
Please stop talking and just put this in your mouth.
I just want to know if you're good at it. Is what I want to know.
Hurtful. Keith, you know that I'm good at it.
I don't know. I've never seen you do improv, and I've never improv'd with you.
Really?
We've never done a scene together.
Have you taken like an improv class?
I haven't taken an improv class. I end up doing it a lot though.
Yeah. Self-taught, Andy.
I'm self-taught. I listen to a ton of improv.
Yeah, whatever.
I've learned from that. Let's do it, Andy. Let's do a scene. Kyle, give us a suggestion.
I will not do this.
Okay. You are 2 acquaintances walking down the streets of a city that you've never been to before, and you don't have much in common. Go ahead.
Yeah?
Well, I just don't know if this is a good idea.
You were the one that wanted to come here.
Listen, I thought the Autobahn would be more of like a highway and we could race, but I didn't know there was this whole town.
I thought it was a dessert place.
No, that's Cinnabon, you fucking idiot.
Well, just because I don't know all the fucking words that you do, Mr. College Degree, doesn't mean that I'm worth any less.
Listen, I don't want you to. You shouldn't call me by my formal name here. They're hostile. They're a hostile people, and I'm afraid. I'm afraid. All right, that's the God's honest.
Do you want to turn around?
I'm afraid. No, yes.
Okay, let's turn around.
Yeah, I would like that. All right.
Where's the meridian?
Don't tell.
Where's the nearest meridian? Where's the GPS? Take out the GPS. You were supposed to have the GPS out.
Okay. All right. I'm sorry. It's I didn't bring any double A's.
Your GPS takes double A's?
Yeah. Listen, my mom gave it to me for Christmas in 2002.
This is what I was saying. I said two things. I said, turn in your flip phone and get a real GPS. We have car chargers now. No, I didn't even know that they had double A's for GPSs.
Listen, logistically speaking, it is a real GPS, okay? When I have double A's, it works. I don't have them now, all right?
I just wanted to go to the Audubon and get a nice treat.
Dick-shaped foods! Get your dick-shaped foods here!
Scene! You're welcome.
So that was pretty good. Nice job, Andy.
That was bad.
I like that. That double A's thing is pretty good.
I'm on a resident cast at Improv Boston, which ostensibly means I'm good. I guess.
Yeah, sure.
Not really.
You should, Andy. You should to the next episode of How Are You Today has some scenes in it. You should listen to it and critique me.
Oh, I'd love to do that.
Yeah, go for it.
Do you yes and everything?
Probably
yes,
most things, yeah.
And
I heighten.
Are your characters internally motivated? That's the biggest thing.
They're internally motivated.
Ooh,
they're
what does
grounded.
that mean?
It means that they have motivation beyond just the scene that's happening. Like
well, that just means, yeah,
they make sense outside of the scene.
That's good. I guess what I mean is like, see what I didn't do in the scene we just did, which is the reason it wasn't that great, was that like my character, if you would, didn't really seem to have a take on what the fuck was happening. It was just kind of like, well, I'm scared or whatever, which can be fine, but like a better one would be like, I would like to go home, and that would be like a want that I have. You know what I mean? Something like that.
Yeah.
Or I want to kiss you.
Right. Which you do.
Just one.
Oh,
kiss.
that would have been so good if you were secretly in love with him, but he didn't notice.
That's usually the case.
Do you guys? Now that we've had time to reflect on it, do you want to take it again?
No.
Okay.
You mean a second take on the improv scene?
No. Well, because I'm more.
I mean, you could take the same premise and do a whole different scene. I mean, if
That's
you were
true.
good,
it's a whole
if you
new
were
world.
any fucking good at it.
What the fuck? I'm worried that the sexual tension between Keith and I will come out, and there will be no edit. There will be not enough edit points in the world to stop it.
Yeah, I have the free version of Audacity, and they only allow 25 edit points per podcast.
Guys, my clothes still smell weird from that one time when you were in the same room together.
That's gross.
Is it kind of a burning smell?
Oh, I don't know what it is. I just wish that
I thought it was kind of like
out.
if I had to guess, I'd be like kind of like Vaseline, like sort of like a hot Vaseline smell.
Yeah, you know, the smell of a tasteless and smellless, scentless substance.
No, it's got an oily smell.
It definitely has
not.
an oil tinge to it of some kind.
Vaseline has no nothing to offer.
It's like
in terms of scent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess smelling saltines is kind of like describing the flavor of a wheat thin.
This is a prime Google search. Does Vaseline smell?
I'm just going to fade out on that callback. This podcast is over.
What? It is?
You can find us on Twitter at Keith J. Carberry, at 19 letters long, and at Real Andy Short, respectively. You can also check out the newest, hottest, freshest Run Button associated act, How Are You Today, on iTunes or on the Run Button YouTube channel. Also, go to contentburger.biz and figure out what that is, that whole deal.
25 things you never knew Vaseline could do. Prevents windburn, which I didn't know was a thing.
Yeah.
Some places are real windy.
Oh, it helps eliminate lice.
No way.